Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I decided to come on just a couple minutes early so people can hopefully catch the link and be here already. I appreciate you guys that are here. I'm checking my feed here. Hello, Monty and Belinda and Don. Well, Monty, I wish you could stay too, but yes, the replay will be here and you can catch it at your convenience. So I think it's going to be a fun little project. It's going to be well, I say this about mine, a quick one. I think it's going to be quick, but I thought the one last week would be quick and it took me a little bit longer, probably because I talk too much. I don't know. I don't know. But this one will definitely be a fairly quick one. It's very beginner friendly, very easy, but so fun and so bright and colorful. I think that's why I really liked it. Not a lot of decorative painting techniques on this one. We will do a little bit, but it doesn't have a ton of the decorative painting that I do on most of my paintings. So I think it's going to be a good one to sit down and just not have to think too much about it. Just grab some colors that you like for a color wheel and paint it. They do not have to be the same colors that I use or the same brand of paints that I use. Whatever you got on hand, if you want to mix some colors, that's awesome. I really encourage people to mix colors. I think it helps you so much more know how colors relate to each other when you can mix your colors. So yeah, I think it's a good one. I am going to go ahead and put myself a little up in the corner. I want to make sure everything's working because when I first got on here, things weren't working. So make sure I select the right one. And I can see my camera is frozen here. So I am going to redo it. We had some issue with our internet the other day, and so it's been a little bit of an issue. Okay, all right, let me turn this one off. Wrong one. Paint table. There we go. Okay. And I gotta move my palette. There we go. Okay. Everything's working. Making sure. I want to keep putting my hand under there because that's the camera that keeps freezing up. I do not know what the issue is with it. I don't know why it won't stay connected. But hopefully for this whole live, it will stay connected. If not, the recording will definitely be there for you. So fingers crossed, say a prayer. Everything works out. I think I'm probably the only person on YouTube that has so many technical difficulties. Maybe not, but I feel like it. All right, you guys. Several of you got this line drawing, so I'm hoping that a lot of you are going to be painting this. Paint along or paint it later, whatever. I'm just on a small surface here, a 6x6 square surface. So you don't have to put it on anything big. It fits beautifully on here. This would be cute. Someone mentioned last week when I showed it that it would be cute on a bag. I think it would be so cute on a birthday bag. She was thinking more of a grocery shopping bag, like a food bag you take in for shopping. But I think this would be super cute on a little bag for a birthday present. And Hobby Lobby has the cutest bags that you could paint this on and put happy birthday on it or their name or whatever. And make it just a really cute gift bag by just painting this on it. I think it would be super, super cute. I'm going to check my Facebook feed here real quick. Okay, it's going. All right, and the colors that I picked, like I said, you don't have to use the colors that I'm using. I'm going to be using just a few brushes here. I've got a couple of rounds, a 2 and a 4, and then I've got an 8 flat and a 3/8 inch angle brush. And I've also got a Delimate pen, but you could also use a Identa pen. We're going to be outlining each one of our colors and the outline of the cupcake and the cupcake wrapper. Everything's going to be outlined when we get done. So I've got that. And colors, I'll say them as I do them. I'm going to go ahead and put them all out on the palette because there is a lot. And we're going to be going quickly to each color. So, like I said, whatever colors that you want to use, I encourage you to use those colors. The ones that make you happy. Okay, so I'm going to start with my color up here at the top, which I used a Vivid Violet. So I'm going to put that out. If you got the line drawing, I did list the paints in there. So you can check that out. And then I've got a lighter purple here. And I won't need near as much paint as I'm putting out here, but I want you to make sure that you can see the colors. And then a darker purple. And then I go to my blues. Let me find my blues. And I painted this again. I don't know what I did with the second one I painted, where I painted a little bit different colors. I'm not sure what I did with that one. See, this one I painted on the back of that. So, you know, use both sides when you're using your wood surfaces, because I just put mine on easels when I display them. So, okay, then my greens. And this one has 3 greens with it. Let me look at my packet real quick and see if I left my greens in there. Or the one I painted in there. Nope. Not really sure what I did with it. It's around here somewhere. But I did repaint it the other day and painted a little bit differently. So, all right. Then we're going to go with this sprout color. It's not quite the color that I want it to be, so we'll be adding some green to that. Then we've got our yellow. We're going to do a little bit of mixing on a couple of these colors because we need to have that. Okay, where am I at? I'm at my orange color. And then my red color. And our cupcake, I'm going to paint in with a dark brown. And I'm just going to go ahead and put all my colors out because we're going to move quickly. Oh, I wanted to point out a different color that you could use for the very top color is this fuchsia pop. I'll put some out so you can kind of see the difference. I kind of liked it a little bit better. I may use it because it's a much brighter pink. And then I'm going to put my shading color down here and my highlight color. Okay, that needs shook up. And the line drawing is on my website, Belinda, lonnalamb.com. I have a section on my website that says free stuff, and it is under the free stuff. So you can go grab that there. Now, my background color is a sand gray color. And I'll put a little bit of that out in case I need to touch up anywhere. You know, when I get done, if I get out into the background where I don't want it, that's a good thing about having a solid color background. Let me move that over so you can see all the colors. Okay, so we've got a very pretty array of colors here. This sand gray, I really, really like this color. It is just a really pretty color for a background. I've used it on a couple of things. I think my Ship in a Bottle, I used maybe this color on it, sand gray. I really like that color. I think it's just a really pretty color. So I'm going to spritz my palette over here. I don't know if I'll need much water doing this project, but I will need some. I like to have my palette spritzed with clean water. And if you're doing a wood surface, make sure you prep it. Prep is key. Multi-purpose sealer first, and then your paint. It is key, key, key. I've got that sitting there for a reference, not that I'm going to reference it much because my colors are not going to match this one because this has 3 greens and we're not going to be doing that. We're just going to be doing 2, 2, 2, 2. We'll be adding an extra orange in here. So the yellow, that yellow green will move up here, and then the yellow, and then we'll do a yellow orange, orange, and then red. You'll see it all come together. It'll be great. It'll be easy and great and lots of fun. Okay, let's get going. Now, I don't know what color you've painted your background in. So if at any point your background, uh-oh, I just froze up. Let me fix that. Hang on. Hang on, I got it. I'll just keep talking while I'm fixing this. If at any point your base color is a little transparent, then you can mix a little bit of white for your very first color. And there we go. I do not know what's going on here, but you guys definitely say a little prayer that this stays where it's supposed to be, because I don't know what's going on. Okay. Let me get my palette back up on the screen. There we go. Alright, I'll keep looking up if I go, if I freeze up and don't notice it. Somebody just needs to keep typing in there, you're frozen, you're frozen, you're frozen. I'll eventually see it. Okay. Let's begin. I'm going to go with this bright pink. You can see it's a little transparent here on my board, so I'm going to add a little white. This is just for my first coat. Then when I put my second layer on here, I will do just this bright pink color. So that's why I'm saying whatever colors you got are going to be great for a color wheel. I mean, just as long as you're kind of going down the list and doing what you're doing. Okay, let's check this purple out and see how it's going to go on. See if I'm going to need some white mixed in with it for its opacity. Not too bad. So I hope you all are having good weather wherever you're at. Yesterday was a very nice day. It's a little windy. It's a nice day, and today it's rain, 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 rain. By Thursday, we'll probably have snow all over again. Alright, it's going to take 2 coats of everything. I'm going to go to a little bit bigger brush now that I'm in a little bit bigger area. And I'm just going to work my way down. I think I have my 2 blues backwards. So I don't like build up on my, when I've got some really thick areas. I don't like that. It doesn't make me happy. All right. I'm going to go to my light blue. Oh, that's so pretty. That's a very bright blue. Now our purples are not real opaque, so I may have to do those 3 times or add some white into it on the second layer. I'll still have to do them 3 times no matter what, so we'll see. But this one has beautiful color. beautiful, beautiful. So fun. All right, let's go into our darker blue here. Now our cupcake wrapper is whatever your background color is. So, you know, if you've got a different color for your background, that's great. That's where you can be unique in your painting. It does not have to look just like mine. So if you don't have sand gray, you can use some other color for your background. Gray sky, you can use light buttermilk, so many colors, light mocha, if you're using Deco Art brand paints. Now this one looks very thin. So I'm going to mix some white for my first layer here. It looks incredibly transparent. Looks very bright on there too. Bright. I may mix some blue in with that so my color will be a little more gradual there. The previous color I'll mix a little bit in with it and get a more gradual color. Alright, are many of you painting today? I need to pull my Facebook feed up and see what's on there. Hello everybody on Facebook. Okay, so this next color is the one that I am going to change off of this one. I want it to be, I don't want 3 greens right there, but I still want my yellowy green. We're just going to add like a yellow orange in between these 2 colors here to make that a more gradual transition. So I'm going to take my sprout color. And if you don't have sprout, any kind of yellow green will work just fine. I'm going to add a tiny little bit of the green from the color that's right above it. Oh, isn't that pretty? That's still kind of more leaning on the green side, so let me get a little bit more of that sprout in there, which is more of a yellowy green. It's a very pretty color. It's I think it's a 2022 color, new color for Deco Art. But we want that yellowy green color. So it's just a tiny little bit, and if you get too much on your first layer, you know, you're coming back with the second layer, so don't stress out. I know it looks, everything looks, at the first stages, they're just ugly stages. You know, they just are. We got to push through and get through the ugly stages to get to the beautiful part. It's hard because you want to get to that beautiful stuff like right now. I do have my photo. I guess I could put it up on the screen, but I'm not. Oh, I'm frozen up again. Goodness gracious. Oh, I'm not liking this freezing up stuff. Okay, give me a second. That one's frozen. So I'm still here, guys. Hang on. I'm not sure what the thing is today. I moved something on the back of my computer the other day, so I may have loosened the cable for this camera. Oh, I definitely will be getting back there to check it out when I'm done here. Am I on? Okay, I'm on. Somebody needs to yell at me. Okay. So the next one I want to make like a yellowy orange color. So I'm going to mix my yellow and my orange together and get a lighter orange in here. Just a mix that you like, or if you have a yellowy orange. I did not have a yellowy orange that I actually thought would work right here. So that's why I decided to just mix my own. And okay, now I don't need to wash my brush since I'm going right into that orange color. And if you've mixed it and your orange is too close to the color you mixed, just go into the next color, that red, and darken your orange. And then you can adjust it that way. Okay? And then our red is our final color here on our cupcake frosting, and we'll be doing these twice. Some of them might get a third coat, but while these all get dry, we'll go down and put our base color on our cupcake. So this area down here. Hello, Carol and Charlene. Did you guys freeze up any on your end? Because I was completely frozen on my screen, so I don't know what it looked like for you guys, but I was frozen. I'm going to mix a little soft black in with this. Get my cupcake color a little bit darker. And I did list an 8 flat. I think on my original one I used an 8 flat to paint this area in, but I had this one in my hand already, so I'm just going with it. Just going with it. No freezing on your end, Belinda. That's good. That's good, because I was completely frozen. Maybe it's just my problem and not your guys's, which is good, but I would think if I'm freezing here on my end that you guys would be. Going to fill in all these points with our... I made a chocolate cupcake, but your cupcake can be any flavor that you want it to be. If you want a strawberry cupcake or a vanilla cupcake, yellow cupcake, whatever you like. I should have probably used the 8 because I'm getting a lot of brush strokes in here that I don't like. So I'll probably use the 8 flat when I come back from my second layer here. Now we don't have to do anything to the cupcake wrapper right yet. Everything working fine on Facebook too. That's good. I'm glad to hear that. But all right. Okay, there is our first layers. So I'm going to go back in with my second layers now. So this bright pink, whatever kind of bright pink you got, like fuchsia would be a beautiful pink to use up here. Just any kind of bright pink. My original one, I did use the vivid violet on it. That one right there, which is the second color on my palette here. But when I repainted it another time, I kind of liked the little bit brighter pink. If that's not something to your liking, then you can mix them and just create a whole new color. So you're not going to be wrong whatever you do. Just slap some paint on there. Alright, let's go into our purple here. See how this second layer is going to look. It's not looking too awful bad. Nice smooth coat. Let's try not to get those ridges in there. Okay, I'll definitely come back and do a third coat on that purple there because it's not to my liking. And this darker purple here. You can add some of the blue in with this one, like maybe that darker blue if you want a deeper purple color. It would also help you not have to apply so many layers. Got way too much paint on my brush here. So that's going to give it that purpley, a little bit of purpley blue mix. When you're doing a color wheel, now I did a leaf color wheel last year, and when I did it, I did take the color that was previous and add it to the next color a little bit so that I could, you know, have those colors kind of flow smoothly together. Thank you, Veronica. It's great for you to be here. Late's fine. We don't care if you're late. Just come on in and enjoy. So here is our brighter blue. I really love this color. This is crisp blue. Such a pretty color. I think it was also a new color in 2022 maybe, or it was a 2021 color. I can't remember. You know, I can't keep track of them. But it's a very pretty blue. All right, I'm in the light blue. And, you know, no shading is going on these colors up here. We're just going to keep them, they're bright colors, and keep it very, very simple up here. I'm just going to wipe my brush off. I'm not going to worry about mixing the color in here. I'll go into my dark blue. Now, the next one, I'm definitely going to mix some blue into it because I want it to be a little bit more of a teal green, not so much a mint green. The purples will definitely need a third coat. So if you're using the same colors of purples that I'm using, I recommend on the first layer that you add a little bit of white in there so that you can maybe not have to do 3. All right, I'm just going to get the paint out of my brush here. That blue, I still want some of it in there. So I'm going to mix this mint color green, which is Paradise Green. This is a new color. And I don't think I shook the bottle up very well because it's very thin. So there we go. I'm liking that much better. It's more of a teal green, light teal green. But it's still a very thin layer, so I might have to do that one again because it's still pretty thin. All right. Our next one is that green color, and I'm going to mix a tiny little bit of blue in with this one just so I can darken that green just a little bit. Now on my original one, I'll bring it back in here. This is the color that I took out. This is leaf green, and I took that one out. I just felt like too many greens, so I just took that one out. Working fine for you too, Cheryl. Well, I'm glad to hear that it's working good on your guys' end. So I'll definitely be checking the back of my computer because I got a live Zoom I have to do later today, so I want to make sure my cameras are all working. I almost hate to touch anything in the back of my computer because I know as soon as I do, oh my gosh, it's going to be madness. Oh, it's coming along, coming along. All right, I really didn't need to wash that paint out. I could have just wiped it out because we're going to add a little tiny bit of that green to our sprout color here. I still want it to be more yellow, not so much green. More of that yellowy green. And sprout is a yellowy green color. It's just a little bit more, I don't know. It wasn't quite the color that I wanted. Let's go to our yellow. Yeah, I really like a bright yellow for like painting these yellow areas in, but it would have required many coats. I think I did try the bright yellow. I do have it on in my basket here. It's a very pretty yellow. It is very bright, but it also requires a little bit more work. All right, we want that yellowy orange color. I didn't need to wash my brush out. I could have left it loaded with that yellow because I just need to mix a little bit of orange in. Ooh, look at that coming together nicely. All right, I'm going to go into my orange, which this orange is actually called Scarlet. When I heard that name, I thought more of it as being red instead of an orange color, but it's a very pretty orange. And I'm going to just wipe off and go into my red because it's okay if some of that orange is in there. Okay, that's looking really good. I'm definitely going to have to do the purples and probably the pink another time. This teal one, I'm on the fence. Right now it's not looking too bad. Not looking too bad. Okay, I am going to move to my 8. Oh, I'm sorry you're at the doctor, Linda. I hope it's nothing serious. And you can catch the replay for sure. Okay, let's do our cupcake color, which I'm just adding a tiny little bit of that soft black in there because a soft black is our shading color we're going to use here. Yeah, that's going in much better. And I didn't want to have to get black out, but if you're making a chocolate cupcake and you get it too dark, then you can just get some black out and add a little bit of black to your soft black. Much easier with this 8 flat. I don't know what I was thinking using that smaller brush. I'm always telling you, bigger brush makes the job easier because you learn to manipulate that bigger brush in smaller areas, then you can paint much faster. All right, we are looking good, looking good. So let me go back up here and see what I can do with these purples and that pink up there. little coat back over this one. I'm just going to wipe my brush out and go into my purple here. There we go. We're getting opaque now. That looks much better. And then my dark purple, which I'm going to add a little bit of that blue in with. Just a tiny bit of blue. This makes it a much richer purple. It makes it very close to dioxazine purple, but not as transparent as dioxazine purple, because you would be here putting many layers on with dioxazine. But it is very, when I put that little bit of blue in there, it's very, very close to dioxazine purple. All right, I think those are looking pretty good. That was pretty easy, I think. All right, I'm gonna grab my angle brush. I want to shade underneath my cupcake here. I want to make sure that's dry, what I just painted on there. Just underneath where all this frosting is, we're just going to darken this a little bit. Definitely need more water. More water. Now just make sure your chocolate, your brown underneath is dry. That's the big thing right there. Okay, I'm going to bring this around on these edges just a little bit. Maybe tuck a little bit in these first three little areas. Do the same thing over here. This is just a small amount of paint, just because these are darker areas. I'm going to do a little bit of dry brushing on the front of the cupcake. Cheryl, you're going to get this painted and put it on your tray. Low in calories and fats. I like that. That's funny. Okay, so when I did my little highlight here on this front edge, I just like very messily dry brushed on there with some soft black and a little bit of white, or you could use the sand gray here if you wanted to use that instead. I might put a little bit of that brown color in there. We just want a lighter version. Wiping it off on my paper towel because I want just a very small amount of paint in my brush. And I don't have enough lightness in it, so let me add a little bit more in there. When you add the white to these brown colors, it's going to make it a little chalky. That's why we want to make sure that we don't get too much. And I'm just very loosely. I mean, I wiped almost all the paint out of my brush here, you guys. Almost all the paint. So, there's not much in there. And if it gets too light, you know, it's an easy fix. You just go back with your base color and wash some over it. Got a little hard line along there that I don't want. Okay, just a little tapping. Use your finger, blend it out, spread it out. You know, whatever works for you. I kind of got into my shadow there, so I'm going to go back with my shadow. My shading color right here. I needed to do it a second time anyway to make sure it was nice and dark under there. All that delicious frosting is laying. I'm going to see if my wash of brown, very, very sheer wash. I mean, I barely have any in there. And just put it back onto here. This area where I highlighted. I just want it to be more brown looking, not so chalky looking. Okay, so if you get it a little too chalky, just settle it down in there. Now inside these little areas here, it's kind of shadowed. So I'm just going to take a little bit of soft black. I mean, just very watery. Maybe a little bit more paint than that. And put some in these areas right here, because these areas are shadowy. And you're barely going to see it in there, but it's going to be enough. It's super, super light, okay? I think I came into this one a little bit because there's no cake in that area right there. All right, how are we looking? Looking good, looking good. Okay, I'm going to do my white lines down my cupcake part here. These white lines, okay? It's just a dry brush. Dry brush with some white. That's all we're doing there. So I'm going to try this bigger one. I might have to move down to my smaller one. I load my brush and remove some of the paint out of my brush. And I'm going to start close to the middle here. And I'm just going to drag some lines down. Barely letting this brush go across here. These are more angled here. Just dropped my brush in my paint. But you guys have never done that, ever. Not one time have you ever dropped your brush in your paint. I've done it many times. Getting my white. If I get a lot on my brush, I'm touching it on my paper towel. Let's start angling these a little bit. That one got a little bit fat. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit darker here. I'm coming straight from that point that's on our cupcake holder. Just dragging it down. Super easy, right? Right. All right, let's do some shading here. I want to make sure my white's dry. Got white paint all over my brush. I'm just having all kinds of issues. Okay, I used for my shading on this, I just used my base color for my cake, which I'm using dark chocolate. This is a little bit of a more transparent color. And I'm going to, I need a little more water. Come down the edge here, just very loosely, down the edge. I'm going to go down this edge, or up this edge, however you see it. And a little along the bottom. We're getting some form on here now. Look at that. Now, this is where you can, oops, wrong color. This is where you can go into your small, or that medium size round that I have here, which is a size 4. But I'm just going to stay with this brush. I'm just going to dry brush or drag some I reloaded my brush, but I wiped out most of the paint so that I can get that dry brushy effect on here. I'm still just using this angle brush. I mean, you can fully load this angle brush if you want, but I'm still just using the corner of it. Just scooting some of that in there. Go back and do ones you feel like need a little bit more. Okay, we're going to shade underneath here now. I just use soft black and this angle brush. So load one corner, but at this point I don't care if the paint comes all the way across the brush. I just want to start out with a pretty wet sheer color here. And I will come back and darken it as I need to, but I brought the shadow down around the bottom and then out here. Just very messily put it out here. Use your finger, soften it out, keep it off of your cupcake. Don't want it on my cupcake. And I just brought it all the way to the corner here. Okay, now you can use a mop brush. I did not get a mop brush out. I don't even think I have one close by. And you can mop that if you need to. I kind of like it, that messy, choppy stuff. I'm going to dry it because I definitely want to repeat that. So I'm going to reload my brush with water and paint. A little bit more paint this time. We really want to get that dark under there. The outer edges of my cupcake wrapper, I think I will go over that shading one more time. A little more water. Definitely want more paint right here. Choppy, choppy, choppy. Use your finger, blend it out. Use the mop brush. Soften any areas that you like. I'm going to let that dry for a minute. I want it a little bit darker right here. And while that's drying, I'm going to go down the edge of my cupcake wrapper again. And that's that dark chocolate color. More water. I'll do along the bottom here because I got that soft black up on it. And then I'll come up this edge a little bit. And a little bit more weight. That's looking good. I'm going to let that dry just another little bit and grab a little bit more white. I feel like some of these here kind of faded down in there a little bit too much. I think I'm going to grab a little water here, make that a little more flow. Just go in the center of some of these and or not. Now this is optional. I mean, because if you've got yours nice where you like them, you don't need to worry about that. All right, let me make sure this is dry down here. And I want it much darker over here. Much more paint on my brush here, not as much water. And I'm just going to pull that out. Take it real close right here. But I want it mostly over here. Choppy, choppy. Chop it up. Okay. Nothing perfect here, you guys. We don't want perfection here. Okay. let me get this completely dry, because now the last thing we're going to do to this is outline it. Let me wide angle out just a little bit so you can see the whole thing. We just want to make sure it's completely dry because we don't want any kind of wet paint to get into our markers. So we want to make sure that we get it completely dry. And this is also going to heat the surface, so we want to make sure it gets cool. And I see a place that I put white paint that I didn't put on here, which was right along here. Okay, let me get that dry. So again, you can use whatever you want. A marker that will not bleed if you get it wet or disappear or anything like that, because once you varnish it, you know, if it's not a color fast pen, not one that is permanent, I guess I should say, and waterproof, when you varnish it, it's going to lift it right off. So we don't want that to happen. I'm going to erase some of my lines up here. I don't need these lines. I'm going to keep the lines down there. If I didn't get any paint on it inside my cupcake, I can erase those, but I'm sure I did. Alright, and then this gets into the trash, not into your paint. Okay, so I'm going to use try the Deli Mate pen, and we're going to outline. Whole entire thing, except for the lines coming down the front of the cupcake. We're not going to outline those. So I'm just going around the outer edge first, and then I'll do my frosting sections and separate them. We do have to put a highlight on our frosting as well. We want to get this outline done. Oh, look at that. I think that really makes it pop. Makes it a more fun painting, I think. Oop. I got a line there. I think my paint was a little thick right there, and it caused a little bump. Paint really has to be dry, you guys. You will completely ruin your pen if it's not dry. That really makes it pop. Okay, let's go along the bottom edge. Everything except for those lines down the front gets outlined, okay? So then we got our cupcakes. I think I might, I guess I'll continue this way. I want to make sure I could see my points. And there's not too many steps to this project right here. Alright, let's go down our edges. Along the bottom. Okay, and then we gotta add our white highlight on here. Now your white highlight, you definitely want to have a good white paint. If you don't and you have a white color fast pen, you can do that. I recommend the Traditions white paint because it is just the best. That's what I've got here on my palette instead of just regular Americana. I've been using this on almost every project that I do lately. Alright, and we're just going to put some fun little highlights on here. Try not to think too much about it. I'm looking at my piece, so I'm thinking about it because I'm trying to get it kind of close to what I did there and see if, you know, how close I can get it. I'm sure it's not going to be super close, but we'll get there. I don't like that third one there on that yellow. I'm going to take that off and just make this one a little bit longer. Okay, there's our highlights on there. Alright, take a look at it, see if there's anything you want to change about it. Super incredibly fast project, don't you think, guys? I mean, that didn't even take us an hour to do. Not even an hour. Let me get my palette cam off. Palette. There we go. And let's take a look at the two of them here. I really like the one I did today. And that's unusual because usually I like the my original one, but after I got this one done, I just felt like it was too much green through there. So I really like the more transition of color that I have here. I think that looks so much better. I love it. What do you guys think? Thank you, Cheryl. Hope you guys are going to paint this one. It's a fast one, easy, and like I said, you can do whatever colors you want to do for your color wheel. You know, my colors were just a guide, just a suggestion, just to get the idea floodgates going so that you can say, or if you're painting a cupcake for a granddaughter or whoever, you can paint it all in their favorite colors. You can leave the inking part off and just paint it in their favorite colors. That would be so pretty. So that is that one. I hope you guys like this one. I'm going to show you what we're going to be doing next week. It won't be quite as fast as this one, but it will be fun. We're going to be doing the marbles next week. This is also a free line drawing on my website. So you can get the line drawing for this. You really actually do not need a line drawing. It's just a bunch of circles. So if you have a circle template, you can put as many marbles on your surface that you want. Have it painted like a gray sky color before we start. We're going to do all of the background stuff first and get that done. It will be splattering, so if you don't like to splatter, you can do little dots all over the place. But we'll be doing that first, so it needs to be gray when we start. And yeah, this one's going to be a lot of fun. I so enjoyed creating this marble design, you guys. So enjoyed it. And I have a large old canvas hanging in our guest bedroom, and I think I'm going to paint like some big marbles on it. I've got an idea of what I want to do because our oldest grandson sleeps in there now, so I'm sure he'd like to have something more boyish in there. So I'm going to be changing that to some marbles. And he used to play with his papa's marbles when he was little. So that's what we're doing next week. And I think next week we're going to be on a Thursday because my anniversary is next Tuesday on Valentine's Day. So I'm not going to be doing anything that day, unless I feel like popping in with a real quick one, maybe in the morning or early afternoon like this one. I don't know. I've kind of got an idea of something I might do, but I don't know. It's kind of up in the air right now. So right now it's the marbles on Thursday, but I could throw something in. So yes, marbles brings back such cool memories. They do. My brothers played marbles. I didn't really play marbles, but you know, I watched them play marbles, and yeah, lots of memories, that's for sure. So, all right, we have any questions on the cupcake? That was incredibly quick and easy. Any questions at all? I'm right here for just a couple of more seconds. I want to make sure no one misses asking me a question. Head over to lonnalamb.com for your free line drawing for the cupcake and for the marbles. And then the week after that, it is the umbrella back there. So you can grab a free line drawing for that while you're there. Just get them all. Just get them all while you're there. And you'll be ready. You'll be so ready. All right, you guys, that is it for me today. I enjoyed this so much. Have a wonderful and blessed remainder of your day and a wonderful remainder of your week. And I'll see you guys on the next one. So long, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe while you're here. I appreciate you. Bye-bye.